Welcome to Culturenomics with Arjun. I'm your host, Arjun. And to be honest, I've done a lot of special shows, but this one is super extra special. We're beaming in from Kigali, Rwanda, also known as the country of 1,000 hills. Joining me, not on the couch this time, but on a high chair, is the mercurial Sopnendu Mohanty, who is the Chief Fintech Officer of Monetary Authority of Singapore and the Chairman of the Board, Elevandi. Sopnendu, welcome.
I'm quite happy to be back with you again for the second time.
In practically 2 months.
Yes, indeed. So you know how much I value your podcast content style.
Well, thank you for that. No, but firstly, let me start with thanking you and the rest of the Elevandi team and your team at Monetary Authority of Singapore to invite me. I think this has been an amazing experience for the last 3 days. And the cherry on the cake, as I said, was being on stage with some superbly intelligent people talking about some interesting topics. We're going to try and keep this brief because I know you've got a very tight schedule. I think for the people listening in, right, we've done this for the first time. Oh, sorry, you've done this for the first time. Can you talk a little bit about the genesis of the idea? Where did this come from?
Well, Arjun, when last time we spoke and you asked the question, how to build a hub, how to build a fintech ecosystem. And the first principle always has been that it starts with people. And when you think about people, you don't think you are going to talk to one individual, have some discussion, and you start a business model. When I talk of people, I talk about a bunch of people, a lot of people, continent, diversity. So part of our desire always has been that, okay, we have been very good in doing what we do in the Asian market. Mm-hmm. Singapore FinTech Festival has been the global convening platform for getting people to Asia. Then we started thinking about, okay, fine, we got this thing somewhat right. Let's look at Europe. So last year we went to Europe within the new platform called 0.0 Forum, where we decided to use the local strength, policy thinking. Europe has been very good in policy thinking to focus on the policy issues in the European ecosystem, and we created this platform and it's been roaring success. We are doing the second edition this year. Then we felt that we are missing a big part of the puzzle, which is the Global South. And the Global South, when you talk Global South, we don't want to have a convening platform which talks about how life can become great by using this cool technology. We decided to reverse that problem. We said, look, let's talk about how to implement these things in real world. And we thought the best place to anchor a Global South discussion on implementing solutions for inclusion has to be the place where it is most required, and also can be a place where the market is most innovative about this thing. No better place than in Africa. And so then before that, I was going around. I went to West Africa, East Africa, and then landed in the beautiful city of Kigali. The moment I touched in this country, come out of the airport, I just fell in love with Kigali. It's such a beautiful country, very well organized, very Singapore-like. Well, I believe Singapore can learn a lot from Kigali, from Rwanda. So we decided to do it in Rwanda, Kigali. This is the best place to bring people around the world, Global South, focus on multiple continents, but talk about Africa as the leading post of Global South solution making.
No, I totally agree. And I think if just to add to it, I think you're saying Rwanda, Kigali, brilliant location, loved meeting people here. You can actually see the hunger for innovation.
Yes.
The energy is palpable. And I think what was being incredibly astounding, if I may use that term, especially for a guy like me who does get to travel a lot, is that I've met people from the LATAM parts of the world, Middle East, India, Southeast Asia, Asia Pac, as far as Australia. So I think your point around getting people together, for an inaugural event, it's phenomenal to get
and
these
talk
people.
About implementation. Don't talk about the big picture. Implementation. Yesterday, President Kagame was so focused on, let's talk about what can we do to solve. President of Zambia also made the point.
Excellent.
Let's not talk about this big stuff. Tell us what we can do now to make that impact. I love that discussion. It really serves the Global South implementation discussion.
Okay, so that's a great segue to my next question, right? So we spent 3 days here, right? The 20th was more of a closed door forum where you had a number of roundtables and workshops. 21st and 22nd of June was open to a wider audience. What have been your key takeaways over the last 3 days?
Great question. In fact, I'm trying to synthesize the amount of information which has come through. We spoke on the way back that your brain is exploding.
Yeah, too much.
And my brain...
Your team's done a brilliant job with content.
My biggest takeaway is the consistent message I'm getting. The cost of financing in Africa is abnormally high. That's the problem statement we have clearly established over the last 3 days. One. Second, there is a demand. There's a clear demand. The ability for Africa, an emerging market, to adopt and absorb new technology is at a record level because they're willing to take every step possible to adopt a technology which can give them the scale. And to me, a real discovery is the quality of talent. The speakers from emerging market, especially from Africa, their level of understanding of their own problem statement and what is the path forward is a huge discovery for me. So the talent, desire for implementation, and recognizing a problem called cost of finance is extremely high. It really gives us the reason to stay on in this game for a long period of time.
Yeah. If I may take the liberty,
sure.
to add one more, I think, and again, I'm complete agreement with you three. For me, having spoken to maybe I 25, 30 fintech founders, I think what's very, very clear to me is there is also a certain uniqueness in terms of how we go about solving the problems out here.
Indeed.
Right? This is not a pick and drop part of the world. And I think that will require collaboration, cooperation at all levels of the ecosystem.
Yes, and also that discussion as we had in CMPD, Capital Mid Policy Dialogue, and also yesterday, that the capital allocation should start from domestic capital formation. That is such a consistent message.
Sure.
I'm a global investor. I'll put money, yes, but where is the local capital? Are the local capital have a skin in the game? So that's, I think, also a big thing we learned in this whole last 3 days of debate.
Excellent. All right, last question. You've set a high bar already.
I don't know, but
yeah. No, I'm telling you, set a high bar. I collect a lot of voice of customer here,
yes.
Right? And I guess I'm somewhere between a participant and a customer on this event. Where are we going next from here on this event?
Yesterday we had a privilege to meet President Kagame in a private audience, and he looked at us and told us, next year it has to be bigger. He just and we have to ensure that we plan well, and we need to bring more people to this program. He's completely convinced the discussion has to be built up right in Kigali. He believes the solutioning has to happen in this country or around in the continent. So next year, bigger, better, and of course the content has to be much more richer and much more meaningful. But I'm hoping more people to join us in this remarkable journey, especially where you're located, Middle East.
No, and for whatever I can do in my little way, I will try and support.
And I would strongly encourage Arjun that you go back with a message to Middle East and say that they have to play a big role in this. And this is something which we missed this time. Hopefully we'll get it next time.
No, excellent. So, Sops, I don't want to take any more of your time.
Yeah.
Thank you for sparing this quick 15 minutes. I'm sure you're running late for the next meeting. But seriously, congratulations. And I don't say that from an individual perspective. I think there's a lot of people out here who are kind of going away from here, blown away with what they've seen. I think a lot of us came with,
question mark.
Well, yeah, or no sense of expectation, right? It was a bit of an adventure, if I may say so, right? And I think we're all going back away, sort of waiting to book our tickets to be here next year, at least I am. And I know quite a lot of people who I know.
I think the beauty of Kigali solves half of our problem.
I agree with you. And the people are wonderful, and the whole event's just gone excellent.
Thank you.
So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Right, and best of luck. So dear all, that was Sopnendu Mohanty, Chief Fintech Officer of Monetary Authority of Singapore and Chairman of the Board of Elevandi. He's an amazing chap, right? It's always a pleasure to meet him. He is genuinely the driving force behind the Inclusive FinTech Forum, obviously with the support of the Kigali Financial Center and on all the other parts who have come together. This was a special edition for the podcast, and we'll roll back to the normal series starting next week. Cheers, bye-bye.